Today's video, I'll be showing to you guys my top 10 SB sneakers pickup this year 2024, and I would even consider this year as pretty wild in terms of SB sneakers drop. And not gonna lie, most of the pairs that I bought here are discounted. Some are even massively discounted, so it's a good win for the consumer side. And let's do my number 10. It's here, the Court Purple, belonging to the J-Pack collection. And the reason why I love this colorway is that it's lace swap friendly. And as an example, I'll be showing you the yellow curry swap here, and the contrast between the purple, it's just nice. But if you don't like loud color, you can also try with gray, and gray is a really good accent if you wanna make it as a contrasting color with the purple. This is an example of gray swap. And the thing about the J-Pack is that it has some similarities with the different colorway, for example the Lucky Green and also the SB Chicago. So lace swapping is actually a good way of differentiating from the other colorways that I have mentioned. Okay, so that was my number 10. It's the J-Pack Court Purple SB sneakers. My number 9, it's a little bit late released, but I really love this pair. And this is the Antihero Collab SB sneakers. And some folks didn't like the decon style of this pair and also the vintage cracking on the leather. But actually the strength of the Antihero sneaker is that it's really comfortable. If you want to compare it to other SB Dunk High, for example, I have the candy corns which I bought recently. It's not that comfortable versus the Antihero. Favorite swap on this pair, it's the gray extra pair of laces. But another thing that you could do also with the Antihero is by swapping it with pink colored laces. And just an example here, this is my vintage rose pink swap on the Antihero. I really love it, especially if I want to wear it on summer, because it gives a little bit of accent versus the cream color of the cracked leather. So that was the Antihero, really nice, super comfy, and of course it's the only Dunk High that I like most that was released this year, so that's the reason why it's on my number 9. Taking on the number 8 spot, it's the famous Trocadero Gardens, part of the City of Paris collection pack. But this is my favorite of them all because of the build and quality of the materials that they're using here. It's just really good, and it's not even comparable to the sneakers that I have been showing you here. One of the best SB sneakers in terms of build and quality. But lace swapping as well, this is a very lace swap friendly colorway, but my favorite on them is the light teal, as you can see right now. This is coming from my Noise Aqua, by the way. But if you want a little bit of a contrast, can't go wrong with the light brown terracotta extra laces that came with the pair. The default ones, the peach, I don't like it so much, so I am using this lace swaps here because they are just my favorite. So that was my number 8, part of the City of Paris pack, the Trocadero Gardens. Taking on my number 7 spot, it's none other than the light carbon Monarch orange SB sneakers, and it was a little bit of a late release, but one of my favorite color blocking, by the way. And if you want to do a swap on this pair, you can't go wrong with my favorite navy gums laces. And it really just complements the Monarch orange on the base part of the sneakers. My favorite part of this sneakers actually is the outsole. I mean, look at those dark stucco outsole contrasted by the accent here. It's just so good, and the materials, that hairy suede is so buttery on hand. But if you want to use the default laces of this light carbon, you can't go wrong as well. And the thing about this pair is that the uppers, the light carbon, seems like bluish if it will be exposed into a direct sunlight or somehow like a light source, so that makes this pair pretty special even if it's only a GR. The light carbon Monarch orange, really pretty colorway. Okay, taking on my number 6 ranking, it's none other than the famous JPack SB Chicago. It is a re-release, by the way, so that means that it's kind of a retro already, but still this is a beautiful sneakers, and that is why I cannot even do any lace swap on them, because it's already perfect with the black default and of course the extra white. I have tried different kind of color, but it's not really working, so I think it's really forbidden to do a lace swap on the Chicago colorway. It's actually 2 pairs on my 6 ranking, and the other one would be the navy gums, and it is a pretty underrated release. Actually, it sits for a while, and I managed to get this super cheap. I think it's around 50% off. But the thing that I like about this pair is just super simple and pretty basic color blocking. But since it's so simple, I used here white rope laces instead of the extra white pair, and I really love the result that I'm getting on the white ropes. It adds a little bit of interest on the sneakers, and also it matches nicely the white swoosh. Really nice orange label SB sneakers, and good thing is it was so abundant, I managed to get them for a really good price. Okay, so that was my number 6, 2 pairs, the SB Chicago, and of course the navy gums orange label. But before we move on into my top 5, I will be showing you my honorable mentions, because I think these sneakers also needs to be mentioned because they are so nice as well. As you can see here, I have the famous burnt sunrise because it was on sale again and everybody wanted to have a pair. And the thing is that if you want to do a lace swap and you're just wearing your pair casually, it's not really a problem if you're gonna use like flat laces, something that I'm showing you right now. Because the reason why the thick oval round laces are used in the SBs, it's because it's pretty durable, especially if you want to skate your pair. So if you're just wearing them casually, nothing wrong with flat laces. And this is my favorite color, by the way, to match with the burnt sunrise. This is the slate blue flat laces. But if you want to match the outsole of this pair, you can also use the terracotta or the light brown laces from the Trocadero. It matches really nicely the outsole of the burnt sunrise. Came, by the way, with extra pair of laces. This is the green one and this is the default. But I'm not using them because I prefer to use the brown and the slate blue. So that was the honorable mention, burnt sunrise. The other one would be these cargos, and man, this pair got a lot of dislikes from the people, and it even went like up to 60% off because nobody really likes this pair. But if you can do the correct lace swapping on this pair, it would transform from really ugly duckling into something very wearable. And as an example of that, it is the dark green from the Dare SB sneakers, because I like the match between the inner linings and the lace here. So that's just one example of lace swapping the cargos. But my second favorite on these cargos, if I need to do a lace swap, is the vintage rose pink. It really accentuates that beige color of the uppers pretty nicely, and it makes the shoe even more wearable. You can't go wrong as well with white laces because I have tried them as well. It's pretty nice. It's very wearable. So that was this cargo for you, part of the City of Paris pack in my honorable mention. And the last one would be the Sonics, the recently released one, which is really perfect for the Christmas season. I love the color blocking of this pair, but since it's more like a seasonal kind of color blocking, I just put the Sonics into my honorable mentions, but still a very nice colorway. Okay, so that was the honorable mentions. Taking on my number 5 spot, it's none other than the newly released triple black orange label SB sneakers. Some folks swap this pair with orange laces, but to me, I don't like it so much because there's not a lot of orange accents that is going on this pair. It's really crazy because the heel support is really black out. The only orange part is the tongue and the insoles, and that's the reason why I like pairing it with the Malachite green, because it just gives you that really earthy vibe. And you know, if you want to wear a camo pants, this swap right here, the Malachite green, is really perfect for those outfits. But you can't go wrong with the default black laces. And the thing that is funny about this release is that the extra pair of laces are also in black, so you don't really have an option at all. And in my case, I like the Malachites. Okay, so that was the number 5. And the quality of this pair as well is top notch. You can't go wrong if you can manage to buy one on this triple black orange label. Coming up on my number 4, it's the famous Malachites. And although this is only a GR pair, I'm telling you, man, pretty nice sneakers. And of course, the color blocking of this, I would say this is the same level with the light carbon Monarch orange and the royal blue contrasted by the off-white leather. It's just so nice. It's like a canvas that is waiting for you to put different kind of laces. But these two right here are my favorite because it really complements nicely the royal blue color of the Malachites. Although the extra pair of laces, the Malachite greens, it's also nice, but I prefer this yellow curry on the right foot. And by the way, these are not really original SB laces, and you can tell that it's a little bit on the thin side, but it's okay, it's doable. But one of my favorite colored laces actually. And on the left foot, it's the orange SB laces. So nice to pair with the royal blue Malachite green. And of course, if you look at the outsole of this pair, it's also pretty nice because it has a gum bottom outsole contrasted by the Malachite green. Number 4, really pretty sneakers, but you have to take note that it could be prone to color bleeding because of the super contrasty royal blue against the off-white uppers. Okay, so that was the number 4. Moving on into my number 3, it is the famous BMS, and I was blown away when this pair was released actually, and I was like, oh man, the nostalgia that came with the pair, because the background story is somehow related to the furnitures that you are using in your household. It's just impressive. And of course, the different materials that they used here makes the shoe even more unique. But if you would ask me what are the 2 favorite lace swaps that I will be using on this BMS sneakers, it will be the dark gray stucco. I mean, look at that. The matches nicely the smoke gray uppers of the BMS, and on the other foot, it's the baby blue laces. And also, it came with other blue lace, the rope lace one, but I don't like it because it's just so much texture going on with the sneakers, and then you put rope laces, it's too overkill in my honest opinion. So these are my 2 favorite swaps on the BMS, the baby blue on the right and the dark gray stucco on the left. Pretty nice sneakers. The quality is top notch, and the materials that they're using is just super unique, and the story behind it is also nice. Storming the number 2 spot, it's the Rayssa SB Collab sneakers. Actually, it's a mixed reaction when this pair released, because some of the people, or let's say some folks, doesn't like the brace because they said it's pretty childish, and of course you can see that patterns on the side panels as well. But man, this pair is the perfect SB sneakers for summer, and it's really gorgeous, especially if you will swap the laces, because as you can see, some people doesn't like this, just take them out, put some new laces, and it's gone. But honestly, I'm not really a fan of the extra laces that came with this pair. Even if there are 2 of them, I just don't like it. I love to put light gray laces on the Rayssa. I mean, just look at them, how gorgeous this pair with that light gray and of course that silver lace tips. Plus, my favorite part of these sneakers is the outsole. I mean, the gum outsole contrasted by that purple SB logo. Can't go wrong with that, man. And of course, some tiny little details here, the Rayssa logo. And of course, since the uppers are gray and the heel support are gray, it's really a perfect match of this gray swap. And man, this pair is just so gorgeous, especially during summer, because of the light color blocking. Okay lah. Although I have already on my mind which one is the number 1 SB sneakers this year 2024, I still want confirmation from other people. And what I did is I asked my non-sneakerhead wife and my daughter, and unanimously they choose the Futura labs. I mean, I'm not even influencing them. I just asked them like, what is your favorite shoe here in my collection? And they just simply chose the Futura. And yeah, it solidifies that decision that I made, that this is simply one of the prettiest or gorgeous sneakers that released in 2024. Although the materials of this is not really that good, it's mediocre, let's be honest. I'm not a fan of the canvas that they're using here, but story-wise, aesthetics, color blocking, design, details, and everything, you can't beat the Futura in that aspect. But let's talk a little bit on the lace swap, because I did a lace swap here. Although it's really a goated status already, the default laces with the 2-tone gray and lilac color, I'm still not super convinced because it's silky and it's wrinkly. And if I want to have a swap on the Futura Labs, it is something that will match the swoosh. Unfortunately, I don't have, but this is my favorite swap on the Futura. This is the light carbon laces that came from the light carbon Monarch. The thing about this lace is that if it will be hit by a direct source of light, it will somehow give you that blue hint that I have mentioned earlier. So that's the reason why this is my favorite swap on the Futura. Okay, so that was my top 10 SB pickup this year 2024. I hope you guys enjoyed the video that I made. And of course, happy holidays to everyone. I will see you next year in 2025. Peace out.